These are the best competitive settings you need to be using in Chapter 6 Season 4. I'll be covering the new scroll reset bind, the updated DX12 Performance Mode after a week of testing, and I'll also cover a bunch of other competitive settings that the pros have been using. By the way, this video won't feature any optimizations, so if you do want more FPS, check out my last video, I'll link it below. But getting straight into it, I want to firstly go over that new keybind you may have missed that Fortnite recently added. It's found at the very bottom of the Keybinds page called Reset Building, and it basically makes your scroll wheel reset faster than before. I'll go in game right now and showcase how fast it is with a before and after. Before using this new bind, the reset is still fast, but what's happening is when you scroll, it edits the tile and then resets it. However, after you use this new bind, you'll notice that when you do scroll, it'll reset the build instantly without editing that first tile. Yes, it is technically only milliseconds faster, but that can make a huge difference. So if you want to scroll reset faster, just bind scroll up or scroll down to that new reset building bind and you're all good to go. Next, in the video settings tab, I want to quickly talk about the new DX Performance Mode versus the old legacy DX11 Performance Mode. After testing the new DX one for a week, I have to say that this comes down to your PC specs on whichever one you use. On my modern high-end system, the DX12 gave me much more stable FPS, it gave us better 1% lows and just smoother frame pacing overall. But if you guys are on a lower end PC or older PC, you'll find that DX11 will likely work better for you. Overall, it's something that you do need to benchmark on your own PC and find out what's the better option. As for the other video settings, I'll quickly go over them. Full screen gives you lowest input delay. Resolution 1920 by 1080 is what everyone uses because it is used at LAN. FPS limit, a lot of people do cap this to their monitor's refresh rate to get more consistent frame times, whereas others don't and they prefer unlimited, so it's up to you what you choose for this one. View distance, you'll notice that if you set this higher, you will be able to see builds and loot from further away. However, player visibility is capped at around 280 meters. Having textures on low will most likely get you the highest FPS, along with having the meshes on low as well, due to the graphics being lower quality. Brightness, most pros you'll see do crank this up to around 125% or even higher, like 150, as it does help them get better visibility in storm fights. Players like Peterbot, Cold, Canada, Bolt, and Shark all use boosted brightness. Colorblind, this setting is personal preference, but some players do find it helps with visibility even if they're not actually colorblind. While we are talking about visibility, another thing that a lot of pros do is tweak their digital vibrance in their Nvidia control panels. Both Peterbot and Clicks use around 70% and they claim it helps with their visibility. In the advanced graphics, if you have got an Nvidia GPU, I do recommend Nvidia Reflex as it can reduce your input delay. If you've got a high-end PC, you'll probably find On plus Boost works the best. Medium-end PCs are probably best with On, and then low-end PCs, sadly, you're probably best off having this on off, as I've heard this can cause stuttering. Oh, while we are on the topic of display settings, if you go into your monitor's menu and check for features like DIAC or motion blur reduction, these monitor settings can actually benefit you quite a bit, but I will say that it's not recommended to max them out completely, as it could cause issues like overshooting and having artifacts appear, so you want to use something like blur busters to test and find the sweet spot. Next up, we've got game settings, starting off with mouse sensitivity. You guys have probably seen that 6.4 is the most common X and Y sense amongst the top players right now in the game. The majority of pros are using either this sense or something very, very close, and for good reason too. It's a perfect sense in the low to medium sensitivity meta that we've got going on right now. This meta exists because most pro players have that comp setup with a big mouse pad as well as being arm aimers, so that lower to medium sense is just perfect for that. As for mouse DPI and pollen rate, most pros are using 800 DPI with 1000 Hz pollen rate. The reason 800 DPI is so popular is because 1, it's the standard DPI that comes with the mouse, 2, it's a good balance of using in game and on general desktop use, and 3, it has lower input delay than you'd find on an outdated DPI like 400. When it comes to mouse pollen rate, you'll notice that there are some high ones that do exist, like 2000, 4000, or even 8000. However, these don't give a noticeable enough advantage in games like Fortnite. All these higher pollen rates seem to do is have stability issues or drain your wireless mouse battery, so that's why most pro players just stick to 1000 Hz. As for the rest of the game settings, settings, we've got auto confirm edits, which is highly debated. Peterbot uses it and he absolutely dominates with it, whereas Cold, he doesn't use it and he also dominates. So at the end of the day, it is 100% personal preference. However, if you want a full breakdown, I did make a separate video showing you how each option works. Pre-edits, these can be useful in specific situations, like the exact one that's playing on screen here, but realistically, I think most competitive players do keep this setting disabled. There's also the simple edit setting, which allows you to perform quick common edits with just one click. As you can see, it's extremely fast and great for new players and even pros, but even though it is now enabled in tournaments, I don't think that many pros do use it due to personal preference. Oh, don't forget in-game settings to turn off all the replay settings if you don't use them, as you can get a light FPS boost from that, along with disabling the energy saver modes too. Speaking of game settings, by the way, you can check out gamesettings.com for all the latest pro player settings in these 3 games. I'll have a link in the description below. HUD and reticle ammo indicator should be used as it gives a visual for your remaining rounds. Damage numbers should be on cumulative as it does all the math for you. Reticle damage feedback is personal preference out of these options, but most use hit only. Then you've got damage numbers scale, which can significantly help you see the amount of damage you've dealt. Oh, and for the rest of the HUD settings, if you turn off all the useless ones, you'll get a much clearer HUD. Moving on to keybinds. Firstly, if you're new to the game and don't know what to use, I recommend one of these 2 sets shown on screen. And if you know your keybinds already, there's 2 features you should be taking advantage of. Just as long as you have a modern mechanical keyboard or even a competitive keyboard like the Wooten or Apex Pro, you'll find that these most likely have 2 features. The first one is custom actuation. This basically lets you set the key actuation sensitivity, and most pros tend to set this at like the lowest 0.1mm rather than the standard 2mm. Then you've also got a feature called rapid trigger. Now this is only used by a handful of pros, most of them don't use it, but pros like Peterbot do take advantage of this. It basically allows you to reset a key as soon as you let your finger off it instead of waiting it to fully come back up. The most popular keybind people set their rapid trigger to is edit. Moving on, finally, we have custom diagonal movement. The most popular config I see is 75, 90 and 135. Depending on your playstyle, this can make a massive difference in your peaking, but I will say that not every pro uses this. Peterbot, for example, likes to keep this off because the default movement is better for his playstyle, so it's one of those that you have to test out for yourselves. For the best audio settings, you want to make sure sound quality is on high, 3D headphones are off, and visualize audio is turned on, as that's what all the pros are using. It's overpowered. Also, a lot of pros use these custom subtitle settings too. But that right there has been the best competitive settings in Fortnite Chapter 6 Season 4. If this video helped, please drop a like and subscribe for more. And before you do go, check out any of my other videos on screen right now.